I'm not worried about it right now. Right now it's only level 1 still. I'm trying to get to level 2 with it. But anyways, okay, that's besides the point. What we are looking at right now is, this is a Oathbound Paladin build for tanking, and this is for the PS4. It probably would work on, say, Xbox One and PC. Your choice. Now, this is my personal preference. This is what I have found that works best. Okay. Just like with my Guardian Fighter build, I explained this multiple times. When you are tanking, you want all aggro and nothing but aggro. You want to make sure no one pulls that aggro from you. You want every last fucking enemy in the area on you. And you want no one else having that threat. Because if you're in a 5-man group, if you're in a 20-man group, it don't matter. If you're by yourself and there's randoms around, it does not matter. You want them protected. You want all the damage on you, and hopefully there's a healer around. Whether there's a healer around or not, it's not gonna matter. Because this is a Paladin build. Paladins are a more beefy character compared to a great weapons fighter. Okay. Paladins get an armor. I guess you would call that gold health bar or temporary HP. But let's go ahead and get into this, okay? I found a lot of things work, but as far as first things first, I'm going to show you what mount I am using for this. Okay, I'm going to show you my character stats. I will show you my character stats. Those are the base stats right there. I've got 9,300 defense. I've got 6,300 power, 11.9 crit chance. My recovery is 1.9. My deflection is 2.2. Okay, and my regeneration is not really nothing spectacular, nor is my lifesteal. That's not what I'm focusing on. I'm focusing on power, defense, deflect, and recovery. And I'm putting crit strike in there when I can. Okay? So, now that that's taken care of, okay, all of my points here was put into Constitution straight across all the way. And then split evenly between Wisdom and Charisma. I had 1 extra point, and I chose Wisdom for the crit chance and bonus healing over Stamina Regeneration and Action Point Gain. Action Point Gain for a Paladin grows really fucking fast. Really fucking fast. Alright, now, okay, so my gear is still 115 gear. This is the only 130 armor plate armor that I have. My relic weapon and whatnot I got out of the Elemental Evil campaign. The shield I got from Neverwinter hitting level 70. Like, I haven't really, worked on getting super good gear yet. Okay, so I've got a Greater Lutheran belt with +1 wisdom, +1 charisma on it. It is an artifact belt. My rings are Ring of Charging Bull. When you have been moving for 5 seconds, you generate threat around you every second as long as you continue moving. And then I've got a Ring of Rising Fortitude. When hit by a foe, you gain 75 regeneration for 4 seconds. This effect can stack a maximum of 10 times. And, well, these two here are actually pretty hard to get. It's just random, actually. You can get them out of demonic runs in Icewind Dale and all the level 70 places. You can get them out of, your level 70 dungeons and skirmishes. It's just a luck drop. Alliance Ward Necklace. This comes from Kessler's Retreat, I think it's called. It's one of the Q skirmish, the Q dungeons. Okay, so that's that. I went with the Alliance Ward Cusis chestplate. Okay, So my next one to be replaced is my head. My head needs to be replaced before anything else does, because everything else is 111 or better. I've got these here, my shirt and my pants are 115. My relics need to be upgraded. I just don't have none of the materials. Now, as far as companions go, okay, this one here is not a choice for your tanking as a paladin. Now, let's say you run Throne of Dwarven Gods. Okay, I'm gonna take whatever I want. That's fine. But if you want to go free to play, this guy right here comes out of the which one was that? I believe it's part of the what's that dang thing campaign called? Give me a minute and I'll tell you. But you want stuff with either defense, deflection, power, increased damage. Okay, this guy here, the Siege Master, I'm going to show you him here in just a second. He's actually a good choice. This guy here is a good choice. What I'm going to show you are all going to be good choices. Shit. Can I not? Okay, so I want to make you idle. You can use this guy here. Alright, so the Siege Master is a good choice. The War Dog is not a good choice. Plus 6.5% reduced threat. You don't want that. That's for a DPS. Okay. Granted, yes, the prone targets by 10% for the Panther, but nothing's really gonna be that effective like that. Okay, so let's make you idle. Okay, so let's make you idle. Okay, so here's a couple of them. Okay, we're gonna go with the purchasable ones first. Okay, and I will tell you where to get them. Out of the ones that I have, what is this one? Lifesteal and Power. We're not looking for that. Alright, so let's see. This one here is Deflect. Okay. What is this one? This one is a Cell Sword, 25 Power. Alright, so as far as I can see, okay, the Guardian Maiden, I don't remember what exactly what it is. It's the Dwarven girl here. Okay, I believe that's the one. Okay, there's Man-at-Arms and Shield Maiden. Okay, the Man-at-Arms is fantastic for a paladin. I used this one here all the way through my orc campaign stuff for the story, my orc runs. I run it through my Gauntled Grim and all that stuff. The healer's great for a little extra damage. It gives you a plus 100 regeneration. Regeneration is not that fantastic, but what he does do for damage really helps with certain things. Now, he is a piece of shit. I've got him up to level 25. I regret ranking him up because that was 50,000 natural diamonds. Okay, so we're going to make you idle. Alright, now, that's that Lifesteal and Power one, isn't it? Which one is? Oh, that's my Archmage Apprentice controller thingy. Okay, so we're not worried about you. We are going to actually, which one's which there? What's this one? Oh, okay. I remember you. Alright, so this one here is not too bad. Okay, he gives you plus 55 lifesteal and 55 power. It's a little much of a pain to upgrade his quality from what he comes at, because he comes as a green. The lifesteal and power is great. Lifesteal, it's really shitty at a low number, but really effective at a high number. But power plus 55, that's great on top of the lifesteal. So if you want to go with a lifesteal power build, sure, go right ahead. But one thing here, okay, is the 105 power, 105 crit strike from this mercenary, okay? This mercenary comes from the heirloom weapon pack. That right there is the best thing in the heirloom weapon pack, unless you're working on a new character. From level 5 to level 50, you'll receive a package that you can claim from the thing. It'll open up every 5 levels from level 5 to level 50 with equipment and items and whatnot for your character's class. Now, the Siege Master here, he's great. Okay, plus 3% increased damage. This effect is increased to 7% damage while on Stronghold map. Seeing as I'm in the Stronghold, if I had him active, I get a 7% damage buff. He's a fantastic companion to have for a Paladin. There's a couple other ones. The Death Knight. I will show you Death Knight here. Okay, so we go over here into the Zen Market and go companions. Okay, we got a Death Knight running around in here somewhere. Black Dragon. There's a couple other ones. I just haven't went through them all in a long while. But the Dread Warrior. Okay, this guy right here. This guy right here. The Dread Warrior. Okay, screenshots. View screenshots. This guy. This guy is probably the best, or if not one of the best. At least one of the best, if not the best, probably the best in my opinion, when it comes down to being a tank. Because on active, on damage taken, 10% chance to become enraged, increasing threat generation by 15%. Now, I don't know exactly if that's 15% while enraged or 15% while he's summoned. Either way, it's still a great companion to have. Fantastic companion. It is a $12 companion, basically a $15 companion. Either way, he is a fantastic companion. Alright, now back to my character here. Okay, so companions, purchasable. This one here, he's decent, not the best. Great right here. This guy here is fantastic. Siege Master's great. Dread Knight's good. This guy here, he's okay, but he's free. So remember, this guy right here is free. He comes from a campaign reward, and I believe it's called the Maze Engine. Yeah, that's what it's called. For free, this guy right here is fantastic. If you want to go with a plus 25 defense, be my guest. Now, as far as the rest of them go, the Shield Maiden, and there might be one more if you're lucky. This one right here. The Shield Maiden. Nope, that's a Shield Maiden. I've got 2 of each of the free ones for some freaking weird ass reason. I just decided I'd get bored and go buy everything again. Deflection, defense, so Man at Arms and Shield Maiden. Cell Sword's not too bad. You can go with the Cell Sword. Armor penetration right there. The dog, the basic dog, not the war dog, but the basic dog. And I think Lifesteal and Deflect. That's actually pretty good too. This one here is the one you get for linking your account. This one here is also a free one. So here, let me go ahead and idle this one here. Where's he at? Is it this one? No. This guy right here. Okay. This guy right here, Kronos, is really good too. I call him Kronos. This is the Illusionist Renegade or some shit like that. He, you get him for linking your account on PlayStation 4. Now, I'm not completely sure how it works with him on any of the other consoles. I don't play the other consoles, and won't play the other consoles. I could care less about the other consoles. But as far as all that said, I believe, yeah, con artist. The con artist has a plus 25 crit strike, so that would be all right. This guy right here, he would be all right for companions. Now, as far as mounts go, it's totally personal preference what you use for a mount, okay? But I'm going to tell you now, the $35 mounts, okay? Heavy Giant Spider comes from a $60 DLC pack, which is going to be the Champions of the North pack. We got the Guard Drake, which is a $35 mount. And then we've got the Armored Polar Bear. Where is he at? Alright, we're just gonna put him right here. This is the Armored Polar Bear you're looking at right now. Okay, this is what I went with for the 2000 defense bonus right here. All of them have this 110 and whatnot movement speed. All the purple ones have that. So it don't matter which one you get. I went with defense because I'm playing tank. If you're gonna try to play a DPS, go right ahead. But I'm gonna warn you now, there are complainers out there. Complainers such as, you know, people saying, oh, when it comes to in-game raids and dungeons and skirmishes, paladins are classified as either one, healer, or two, a tank. I'm like, okay, so your point is you're a crybaby. Either way, so I went with defense because I'm running a tank. If you're gonna run a healer, you want to run the power bonus. The power bonus I got from, there's a reason there's two of them. Okay, one of them came from my Guard Drake for the power, for the 2000 power, and the other one came from my Heavy Giant Armored Spider. Okay, so either way, you're not gonna get a purple one. You might get an orange one if you're lucky. You might get an orange one if you're lucky for an event or something. Like, I haven't gotten lucky enough to get the legendary mount that's coming from the event that's going on right now. But then again, I have only been farming it for 2 days, and I've seen everybody else get it, and I'm sitting here like, where's mine? I'm not too worried about it though. So let's get into powers. Okay, powers and feats. Okay, the feats all across the board, everywhere around the world, most of them look the same. And mine probably looks the same as everybody else's. So I'm going to start with the feat points. Okay, so I went into 1 point right here for Divine Action. Activating Divine Call now generates 1, 2, 3, 4, 5% of your maximum action points. Okay, your action points, or daily points is what I like to call them, or supercharged power is another word I like to call them. Okay, every time you activate your R1 button, which is your Divine Call for a Paladin, it will recharge your maximum AP by 1%. That's why I only went with 1 for 1%. There's other ways and 100,000 ways to gain action points. Alright, I went 3 on 3 for Weapon Mastery for increases your crit chance by 3%. I went 3 on 3 of your maximum hit points increased by 9%. I went 2 of 3 on Wrathful Strike. Your at-will powers deal 4% more damage. As much damage as possible to help out the DPSs is great. Being a Paladin tank, you don't have to block as much as a great weapon, or not a great weapon, a Guardian fighter. So you're always going to be attacking and using powers and whatnot. Now, this one right here was a tough one. Your damage resistance is increased by 1.5 to 2.5%, or your encounter powers recharge 6% faster. I went with the recharge because the more times I can use my powers, the better off I am. Because the more times I'm using my powers means I'm making sure. I am making sure my powers are recharging fast enough that I keep aggro, and that's what this build's all about. Keeping aggro. Alright, so the third tier I only went with Impassioned Please. You generate Divine Call energy 6% faster. 6% faster is great. Okay, it is great. I'm not gonna lie. It helps you keep aggro because your R1 as a Divine of the Oath of Protection is a taunt. It's not a heal, it is a taunt. Now, Oath of Devotion is a healer, but that's not where we're focused on. We're focused on protection. Okay? So, here's another one. Okay, we got Steadfast. I went 3 of 5 on this. Each point of Constitution now grants an additional 5, 1, 1.5, 2, and 2.5 maximum hit points. Okay, my Constitution is super high. Okay, well, I can't say super high. It's like 27. It's about as high as you're going to get. You can get it up to 30. That's if you go the 20 Constitution route. But, whatever. So I'm getting 1.5% maximum hit points from my Constitution bonus. And then the last one here. Okay, I could have went with Divine Wisdom, but this is for me to help with my healing spells. I'm not going to be using any healing spells but one, and I'll explain that one when we get there. And it's not even a power. Alright, so I went with Force of Will. Each point of Charisma now increases your critical chance by an additional 0.33, 0.66, and 1%. I went 2 of 3 here for a 0.66 crit chance. Additional crit increases your critical chance by it. Okay, so I got an additional 0.66 crit chance from that. Alright, now let's go down the Light Paragon, and I'm going to explain why I went this way instead of the Bulwark. Because my top Justice, that's where all my damage, my extra damage to help my team out is coming from. My defense is coming from Light, and I'm going to explain why here in a minute. Gift of the Light. You heal for 2, 4, 6, 8, 10% more. Okay, now remember, I'm not a healer, I'm a tank. So that's not going to happen very often, but when it does happen, it will help speed the process up for the healer. If there's a healer, because, you know, not enough people on this game know how to run a healer on the PS4 because either they're just too lazy to do it or they're too moronic to do it. Now, here's where my defense comes from. Warrior's Bastion. You gain 2, 4, 8, 10% more defense from your equipment. That is a must-have right there for a tank build due to defense. Defense is your survivability. Health is your survivability. Last but not least, Aura's Gift. I went 2 of 5. Allies within 30 yards of you gain 5, 10, 15, 20, 25% of your power. They must remain within 30 meters or yards. I'm not completely sure what the hell that one is. I think that's feet, maybe. I don't know. Of you for at least 6 seconds to gain this buff. Now, that buff only lasts for so long if they move out of that range. But as long as they're in that range, and they're in that range for more than 6 seconds, well, they get 25% of your power. The more power you got, the better off you are, the better off your allies are, because they'll be doing more damage. Alright, now here's why I went down the Justice Paragon. Okay, I went 3 of 5 with this one right here. It's called Prism. Every time I activate a daily, causes you to become a prism for 4, 8, 10, 12, 16, 20 seconds. Now, I'm only going to 12 seconds. During this time, anytime you are healed, all allies within 30 meters are also healed for this amount. This effect will not trigger from heal over time effects. It has to be a burst heal or a single heal. It can't be a heal over time. So basically, I thought it was okay to grab this, and then at the same time, it was iffy. Here's another one that I thought was actually pretty good. Purifying Fire. Now, I should have started with this first one, but I decided to go with the very last ones and why I went with these. Okay, Purifying Fire. Your at-will powers apply Purifying Fire to foes. Purifying Fire stacks up to 5 times, dealing a 2, 4, 6, 8, 10% weapon damage each time a stack is applied. This damage is doubled for each stack applied to the target. Purifying Fire lasts 60 seconds, but is removed when you strike the target with an encounter power. So basically, you are going to be using striking skills for your encounter powers either way, but this is great to have. Adds a little extra damage on top of the damage you're already doing when needed. Okay, so it does matter. Next is Echoes of Light. I'm going backwards down the tree, and these are must-haves compared to the other ones in my opinion. Echoes of Light. Your at-will powers have a 2, 4, 6, 8, 10% chance to trigger Echoes of Light. This is a big 2. It activates quite often. Echo makes your next encounter power instantly recharge all of your encounter powers. This effect can only occur once every 15 seconds. Now, let's say I've got Echoes of Light out. I've got 2 skills on cooldown. I've got another one that just got off of cooldown. My other 2 skills have 24 seconds apiece. I use that one, all 3 of them automatically refresh. I get to use them all again. Echoes of Light activates every 15 seconds. It's a great skill. It is a must-have for this build, especially to keep aggro, as it was said earlier, keeping aggro. Okay, now Radiant Champion was my 3rd pick. Your very presence inspires your allies. When you have at least 2 other allies within 30 foot of you, all of you gain 5, 10, 15, 20, 25% more movement speed and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5% cooldown reduction. I went 5 of 5 with this because cooldown reduction and movement speed just sounded fucking awesome. Alright, next is Flash of Light. Your encounter powers have a 5, 10, 15, 20, 25% chance to reduce the cooldown of your nearby allies' encounter powers by 10%. So, my encounter powers, cooling down my allies' encounter powers. Now, how awesome is that? You're not just a tank, but you're support as well. I love playing support. I love playing tank. I love playing healers. I love playing crowd control. I've been doing this kind of shit since DC Universe. So it just sounded fucking awesome. It sounded really fucking helpful. It sounded really like a really big benefit to my party. So I went with it. Flash of Light, a great fucking skill. And then we got Swift Flash. This is the first skill you want to max out. So we're going to go Swift Flash, Flash of Light, Radiant Champion, Echoes of Light, Purifying Fire, 3 into Prism, and then we're going to grab this Vengeful Judge. I'll explain Vengeful Judge here in just a minute. I know I haven't went to that one yet. Alright, so when you So Swift Flash is when you are struck by a foe, you have a chance to trigger a flash, granting you increased movement speed of 6, 12, 18, 24, 30% for 4 seconds. This can only happen once every 10 seconds. So, if you can increase your movement speed just by getting hit by an enemy, why not? It lasts for 4 seconds. It can only take effect every 10 seconds. So 4 seconds go by, your thing just got done. You've already got 4 seconds accumulated, meaning you've got 6 extra seconds in between you gotta wait. 1 1000, 2 1000, 3 1000, 4 1000, 5 1000, boom. It can have another chance to activate after 6 seconds of your first one going away. That's the way I've looked at it, because I've watched it go off back to back almost, and it activates really fucking fast. Moving around really fucking fast for 4 seconds to get from one pack of enemies to the next is fantastic, especially when you're in a group and you're trying to keep one group member alive that's over by himself fucking doing something while your other group members are over here with you, trying to keep everybody alive. Swiftness is a must. Movement speed. Alright, so my last skill for my Paragon is Vengeful Judge. Your Divine Call now also applies Judge to yourself for 10 seconds. Judge increases your damage dealt by 35% as well as reducing the cooldown of your currently recharging powers by 35%. Your encounter powers have a chance to immediately grant you a chance of Divine Call. Meaning, Divine Call is just awesome right now. You use it, you have a 35% chance to reduce your encounter powers. It reduces your encounter powers by 35%. I know I just kind of messed that one up. Anyways, it stacks to myself for 10 seconds. Okay, it increases my weapon damage by 35%, meaning I'm doing just a little bit more damage. I'm not worried about that little bit more damage. What I'm worried about is my encounter powers cooling down. The faster they cool down, the more I get to use them, the more often I get to fucking make sure my enemies are not attacking no one but me. So, that being said, let's scoot on over to powers. Now, as I said before, okay, there is this is a protection build, this is a tank build. There's a lot of different ways we can go with this. I have played with every unique way of playing this character. The only one that I have found useful, okay, is the one that I am using right now. And that's only because I make sure with this build makes sure I am keeping aggro, my allies are doing damage, and, well, as long as I'm keeping aggro, my allies are doing increased damage compared to their normal damage output, I'm perfectly fine. Alright, so, let's get into this. First, what we need to do is we need to get to level 20. So when we get to level 20, we can start putting 3 points into each skill that we're going to use. Okay. Divine Judgment was a fantastic thing for when I was leveling up, but after I realized, you know, when I got to level 70, it wasn't as effective as some of these other skills. So, in its own form, this is kind of a perma bubble build, but at the same time, it's not. Okay, so Divine Judgment does a lot of fucking damage. I'm not gonna lie, it does a lot of fucking damage. But that daily just became useless to me at level 70 because at level 70 it's either healer or tank, and people complain just a little too fucking much because they're a bunch of sissies and don't know what the fuck they're doing. I've ran into a couple healers that fucking sit back and fucking relax and don't fucking use but one fucking healing skill at a fucking time, and they're all fucking single target heals. And I'm sitting here like, how are you fucking getting 6 million heals and you're only using a single target heal? I don't understand it. But let's just get into this. Radiant Strike is my secondary at will. I've got 3 points into that. It is basically a shield bash. It lunges you from target to target, and it activates Radiance. Radiance increases your armor penetration and damage. Okay, so your armor penetration and damage are increased by 5% for 15 seconds. Does not stack. So when it activates, you have to wait until it's gone to activate it again. 15 seconds later. It's kind of a long cooldown, but it's not that bad. It lasts for 15 seconds, so as long as it's lasting, just shield bash away if you want. That's your choice. But that's your L2. Okay, my first active bonus, I use this one here. You and your allies within 30 foot of you deal 1% of your maximum hit points as bonus radiant damage. And then there's an extra 10% damage and an extra 10% damage. So 1% went that right there just went from 1% to 21%. That is 21% radiant damage of my max HP between everybody in the group that are within 30 yards of me. Okay. So as long as I am doing dungeons and skirmishes that keep my party close to me, I should be fine, right? Yep, I'm fine. Alright, so as long as my allies are doing more damage, I have them buffed. I have them buffed so tremendously that shit gets burnt down super fast. Alright, now my first daily I went with is Lay on Hands. You immediately heal the target for 100% of their max HP and removes all damage over time effects from the target. This power consumes AP proportionate to the amount of HP the target is missing. Very, very, very helpful when that can literally go from a 1% health to a 100% health depending on what the circumstances are. It was between Lay on Hands or Heroism. So I went with Lay on Hands. Lay on Hands sounded better to me. Now there is circumstances I'll use Heroism, but it's not that bad. It's not that effective because I don't need it. I use Lay on Hands to protect my allies. I am a tank for a reason. Okay, so now that we've gotten that covered, okay, my primary opening skill is right here, Templar's Wrath. What this does is give me a gold bar of health. That gold bar of health is basically it is like 3 times as much health as my normal health bar. It goes down fairly fast once they start breaking the seal that's at the end of it. But once they break that seal at the end of it, it whittles down, but it don't go down too fast. Here's another one that I use. It's Binding Oath. Basically, this one right here, what it does is for 2 seconds, when you activate this, for 2 seconds, this lets you grab all aggro from everything that just seen you use this. It makes everything attack you for 2 seconds, and when the effects expire, you take 50% of the damage and deal 20% of it to all foes in a 30 feet area. 30 meter. I'm not completely. I have to figure that one out. I think it's 30 foot or 30 meters. One or the other. It is going to take 50% of the damage that was dealt and dish 20% of that damage back at your enemies. Can't beat that. Why not? You're being attacked, they're not. My main at will is Shielding Strike. Reason I use this over Oath Strike is because Oath Strike, yes, it is a powerful thing. But it makes my allies deal less damage. I don't want that. So I went with Shielding Strike. You strike your foes with brutal swings. Basically, that's all that does. I'm just kidding. It does more than that. On the final strike of this combo, you gain a shield that absorbs damage. This shield stacks up to 3 times and lasts 8 seconds. So you have a shield that lasts 8 seconds apiece, and the more you use this at will, it stacks up to 3 times. So if it stacks up to 3 times, that's 3 times 8. That's not just 8, that's 8, 16, 24 seconds if you can get it to stack 3 times. And it is fantastic. It makes you take less damage. And rank 2 and 3 give you 30% damage and 30% shield. I don't see a problem with having extra damage and extra protection. There's not. Not as a tank. As much protection as you can. In the long run, an Oathbound Paladin is by far greater than a Guardian fighter, only because there's these next few skills that I'm about to go over with you. Divine Protection. This is where a lot of people mistake Permabubble for I'm protecting my group. I don't fucking care if it's Permabubble or not. Divine Protector is my main daily I use. I use this every chance I get, unless emergencies come with the Lay on Hands. Now, Divine Protector gives me a bubble. It latches onto all 4 or however many group members I have around me. All of my allies get the same buff I get from my bubble, and my bubble protects them from all damage for 3 seconds. Basically, this is what it does. For 3 seconds, you shield all your allies from harm. You redirect 100% of damage they would take to yourself. So I take all the damage my allies just took. Okay, I've got 2 stacks of health bar. What the fuck's it matter? Right? All damage you would take while this effect is active is reduced by 50%. Awesome. It's just fucking awesome. I take even less damage than they did. Alright. Now, here's where things get interesting. The last skill I use in this build can be one or the other. It can be either Circle of Power, or it can be Relentless Avenger. Circle of Power works for me and my allies, but it works more for me than it does my allies. And I don't want just me being protected, I want my allies being protected too. It's great, don't get me wrong, it's great. You lay a big ass shield on the ground, everybody gets a 25% defense buff. I've noticed it works for my allies, but I get more of a defense buff than they get due to my defense alone. I went with Relentless Anger. It is kind of an annoying skill to your group members. Remember that. But here's what it does that people don't understand, and they have to understand why you're using this. You rush, okay, it's just like a shield strike. You rush to a target, smack the shit out of them for about 10 or 20,000 damage. Just saying, that's how much damage it hits for me. Dealing damage, driving back all foes within 15 foot of the target. Under the protection tree, all targets are taunted. Do you realize what a room full of Throne of the Dwarven Gods looks like when everything's on you? I didn't know it until I used this. This skill right here is my trump card. This is what brings everything away from my allies to me, making everything attack me, which is what a tank is supposed to do. Everything is supposed to attack the tank. Nothing is supposed to attack your healer. Nothing is supposed to attack your DPSs. It's all supposed to attack the tank. This is where this build finishes off with that skill right there. That is my trump card. Open, close, bada bang, bada boom, wham bam, thank you ma'am. That is a taunt all fucking targets in the area kind of thing. Your allies can go take the big ass golems, you hold fucking aggro for a couple minutes so they can go take out the big golems, they come fucking throw their powers down, fucking knock out the ads. Yes, that is a fan-fucking-tastic fucking... That is a fantastic fucking skill. I love it. It is fucking awesome to use. It annoys the piss out of my friends, but, you know, who fucking cares? Alright, my last active is Aura of Protection. Okay? You and allies within 30 feet of you gain 5% increased damage resistance. Oh, hold on. Make that 10. Because we get another 5 from rank 2 and 3, right? So that's 10% increased damage resistance. The closer I am to my allies, the better off they are. Control wizards especially, seeing as they're fucking nothing but glass cannons. They hit harder than any fucking class in the game, and they are just the squishiest little bastards. Alright, so that being said, this build is how I am running my Paladin as of the past 3 weeks. No, probably a little bit longer. Give me this. Alright, is this thing working? I sure hope so. Uh-oh. Shit. Okay, yeah, this thing's still working. Anyways, so, as I was saying, this build is a wham bam thank you ma'am kind of tank build. One of my only active guild members out of all the guild members I have, that's the reason my guild's not level 2 yet, is because I've only got myself and one other person that's actually active properly helping out with the guild. He is a trickster rogue. Trickster rogues are squishy as shit. They hit harder than a fucking freight train. So I walk around, yes, I get knocked on my ass quite a bit, but you know what? I have survival chance. Him, on the other hand, not so much. When he realized why I use the skills that I do, he quit bitching, and I don't have a problem with it. I mean, he can grunt and groan and whatnot all he wants to because he's a single target person. But as long as I'm keeping aggro, he's not dying. As long as he's alive doing damage, I can hold all aggro I want. That's the way I look at it. I thank you guys for checking out this video. I hope you use it. I hope you like it. There's one other power that you can substitute either one of these two here of relentless anger and circle of power, and that would be anyways, that would be divine touch. Divine touch attacks all enemies in range, but under the protection roll you get reduced incoming damage for 8 seconds. There is no percentage on it. There is no number on it, so I don't know the exact number or percentage thing that it does, but I found Relentless Avenger and Circle of Power better than Divine Touch. But those three right there are the three that I chose. Now, if you really want to fucking get in there and get some business done and fucking have your allies burn the shit down really fast, you can just throw in Bane. But Bane's not a tank ability. Bane is a support skill for DPS roll, or support skill for, say, Oath of Devotion. A healer would use that more than a tank would. That's just my opinion. My opinion is stick with what your class is supposed to do. If you want to hybrid it, go right ahead. Hybrid it all you want to. But hybriding a DPS versus a tank roll, you're still not going to be doing as much damage as most other DPSs out there. I run around, I think the most damage I get out is maybe about 6 million damage. This character's still kind of new to being level 70, but what can you say? 6 million damage is 6 million damage on a level 70 dungeon. Or you can just say, hey, I don't want to be a tank no more, and you can just make a whole new character, make a DPS, and go all out, guns blazing, do 22 million damage. I mean, my control wizard, fresh level 70, literally, and it gets about 10 million damage out. And it does pretty good. I had to do some augmentation altercations to actually fix her up a little bit. Now, as far as my last thing for this character's build, okay, this is how you, if you want to run it different, be my guest. But my runes work best for me because it's how I run the character. Now, as far as movement speed, as much movement speed as possible. But if you really in need of gold, okay, so because of the artifact belt gives you a utility slot, you get 4 utility slots. So I put 2 dark, 2 radiant. That gives me 22% gold find and like 400 movement speed or something like that. 7. Okay, that one right there is not a level 7. That's just a level 5. I've got to fix all these up a little bit. But a dark enchantment, rank 7 is 230 movement speed. I do need to get those upgraded to a 10 or better. Just right now, I ain't got the time to do anything like that anymore. Well, I do. I just don't plan on it. Okay, so my defense from my chest plate is an Azure, 230 defense. My weapon is not Azure. I believe it's a black ice enchantment, rank 7. Basically, I'm getting 130 power, 65 crit strike, and 65 recovery from that. Now, the rest of this is where everything comes into play. My shield has an Azure enchantment for defense slot. Now that is a defense slot. That's 230 extra defense. Okay. My neck has a silvery enchantment for an offensive slot. That is 230 recovery. 2 rings, 1 offensive, 1 defensive. My defensive is Azure. All my defense slots are Azure. And then my other, right here, for my other ring, which is an offense slot, I use a dark enchantment for 230 armor penetration. Now, that's great. you know, and I'm using the inscribed garments for the 10% experience gain, and they level up with you. So instead of having a 93 and a 111 shirt and pair of pants, I have a 115. Better armor rating, better stats. These here give 187 power, 168 defense, 187 deflection for the pants. While they give you 187 power, it's the same exact stats for the chest and the pants, and each character can claim this. Now, because of the power, defense, and deflection, that's what my character is based off of. Those three right there, I just chose to stick another one in there, which would be crit strike and recovery. I'm not worried about regeneration or lifesteal. It was defense, deflect, recovery, crit strike, and power. If I can focus on those 5, I am perfectly fine as a tank. Alright, now as far as relics go, I found that the Devoted Cleric's relic is by far the best equipped slot as a level 70 relic. Okay. Guardian Fighter, Brunor's Helm, and I haven't decided what my last one is. As far as right now, I'm using the Oathbound Paladin relic. Okay, so the reason I have my main equipped usable relic as a Devoted Cleric is one reason only: the usage. On use, your Devoted Cleric spirit fills you with divine power, granting you 40% of your total action points over 15 seconds. In addition, while this buff is active, you heal yourself for $13.98 whenever you use an encounter power. On equiption, it gives me an extra 210 power, and that's at a rank 29, full ranked up, just got the damn thing. Don't have the utensils to upgrade it yet, so, and I'm not about to go spend 35,000 astral diamonds to make a bet in the Zen Mart, or in the Astral Diamond Trade House, whatever, the auction house, just to get one of the things I need, let alone I need 4. Okay, people in the United States, or let alone on the PS4 in general, are greedy as hell. Right? When I say greedy, I mean fucking greedy. Okay. So we have an event going on. We're on stage 3 of the event. We're able to get a beholder mount. Motherfuckers are charging more for the beholder mount than they are for an armored griffin, when the armored griffin is more rare than a beholder mount. Beholder mount should only go for about 500,000, in my opinion. But that's besides the point. I don't even have 500,000 to go buy a beholder mount anyways. I really hope you guys enjoy my build. I hope it explained everything in depth for you. If you did enjoy this, please hit that subscribe button, and you can keep updated on my latest content. And I will see y'all next time. Do not forget to have fun, guys. Alright, have a nice night. See you later.